Now that we finished up the base roster, I think it's time to start part 4, which is essentially the future content of this game. So, as you know, Marvel Rivals releases a new character every 45 days or so, according to the dev team. Shout out to them. And with this hypothetical game, I want to do the same thing. But instead of having a whole schedule, I thought to just include a bunch of different ninjas I thought should be in the game, but I couldn't find a way to fit them on the base roster. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the next section of this video. These are 22 more characters I think should have made the cut, but could easily be added in later on in the future of this hypothetical game. In total, this will bring a whopping sum of 55 characters from Naruto that would be in this game. I'll mention their role alongside any notable abilities. I had a hard time deciding who to leave off the launch list. These ninjas are just too good to not mention, so I had to go a little harder and include them somehow. Also, this will not be in-depth, just some abilities I would want to see, since I went a little too hard on the launch roster and I'm honestly just tired out. I had to go back and bring some of the OG Naruto villains, starting off with Zabuza. This dude was so tough the first time we saw him. I want him to be a guardian ninja, and the reason I left him off the launch roster is because he would have a similar moveset to Kisame and it was either him or Zabuza. Anyways, his moveset would revolve around his water release techniques and his sword. I know Suigetsu is on the list, but this is Zabuza we're talking about, so I don't care about the contradiction if both of them have the sword. This will be his primary fire, a heavy sword slash. One ability could be him throwing the sword as a boomerang, going forward and coming right back, doing piercing damage. He should have water shields and water prisons to stun and trap enemies. Maybe bring in some dragon bullets and waterfalls for some abilities. His ultimate could be hiding in the mist technique, similar to Sue Storm's ultimate, but slows enemies and prevents them from seeing you in the dome as an AoE and reduces any damage taken for yourself and allies in the mist. I gotta mention Haku if I bring up Zabuza, and I also wanted to put him on the base roster, but there were just too many characters I did not want to miss out on. To make things interesting, I'm making Haku a medic ninja. I want him to revolve around his Senbon, which are needles as both damage and healing. Since he was commended for his speed, let him have the ice skate Luna Snow does with a speed boost and jump increase. His demonic mirroring ice crystals would be insane to see, basically cloning him. He can also make an ice dome shield for himself and allies as another ability that can heal when nearby. Finally, his ultimate could be the 1,000 flying water needles of death. I could just as easily have made Haku an assault ninja, but to complement Zabuza as a guardian ninja, I made him a medic to support him. I'll admit it, I'm throwing in just about anybody in at this point. I actually think Anko would be a good choice for an assault ninja, and would shake things up. She was one of Orochimaru's first disciples. She can use her hidden snake hands technique as an ability against an enemy, deploying snakes on them. Since she eats dango so much, dango sticks should be her primary fire. Finally, her ultimate could be the twin snake sacrifice, killing anyone caught in it along with herself as a last minute suicide. Any other abilities would be cool to see, but I definitely see her as an assault ninja. Since I'm going with unconventional picks, I'll bring up Kurenai. I'd like to make her a medic ninja, but I won't speak too much on her since I don't know how to incorporate a moveset around a kit like hers. She revolves around Genjutsu, but I want to incorporate her demonic illusion tree binding death as an ability. I don't know how it would work, but that would be cool to see. Since she can disable other Genjutsu, maybe give her an ability like Dagger's Veil of Light to heal and get rid of any negative effects. I think Kurenai fits as a supporting character, hence her placement role as a medic ninja. Since I did just add Kurenai, I might as well mention her husband while we're at it. I really see Asuma as a guardian ninja, using his chakra blades as a close range primary fire melee. I actually want to do something like Captain America, where Asuma can basically throw the blades a few feet forward after hitting 2 successful hits, and can do so 4 times within 5 seconds just like Cap does. This is basically his flying swallow. He can use both wind and fire release, so maybe give him a smoke screen ability that he can detonate like his fire release ash pile burning. Finally, his ultimate would have to be his welcoming approach 1,000 armed murder. Asuma would be cool to see as a brawler tank, so I think the guardian ninja role is befitting. Shikamaru. The first student of Asuma I'll be talking about is going to be a medic ninja. Boo hoo! I don't care that you wanted him as an assault ninja. Bro's whole kit revolves around shadows. I want him to have a stun that connects shadows with enemies. Maybe this could be his shadow sewing technique. I also want him to heal by elongating his shadow to allies and healing them. The shadow imitation technique could control enemies for a couple seconds. Maybe that's too overpowered, but it's just a thought. And his ultimate could just be the shadow neck binding technique to anyone in the area. I think he fits being a support character more than anything, helping to set up plays, but he does have a lot of damage potential as a medic ninja. Choji is actually pretty slept on. I think he fits perfectly as a guardian ninja since he's pretty much a tank. His hair could be his primary fire, which would be interesting to see. The human bullet tank would be a pretty nice ability to see. The butterfly bullet bombing would be a nice damage punch, honestly like Doomfist's rocket punch. Giving him the pills would be a nice touch for different boosts. And finally, his ultimate would be his butterfly Choji mode, just enhancing him overall. Really, Choji fits extremely well for being a guardian ninja. The last of Asuma's students is none other than Ino. Again, I have her as a medic ninja. This one actually makes more sense as compared to Shikamaru, but I gotta keep things interesting. We all know Ino is capable of possessing targets. Maybe we swap this out for a healing allies and stunning enemies sort of possession. Nothing too crazy, just an ability on a consumable cooldown like Mantis' spores. Really, just give her a bunch of mind-body techniques. Different jutsu doing different things. Healing teammates, stunning enemies, controlling them. I don't care. I just want her as a healer since she is such a great support. It would be wrong to not include her as a medic ninja. Great. Now I gotta mention Ino's husband too. Despite what you think, I actually think Sai is tough and underutilized. His whole kit would revolve around drawings and ink. Really, just let him conjure up different drawing summons for his primary fire, different abilities, and his ultimate. Maybe do something interesting with his ink as well. He can use a super beast imitating drawing and have ink birds send out exploding tags. I don't think there's much else to say besides making him revolve around ink and drawings as an assault ninja. Might as well bring out the OG Uchiha menace, Shisui of the body flicker. This dude is obviously an assault ninja. Again, like every Uchiha and overpowered ninja, he's gotta be nerfed heavily. His body flicker technique has to be utilized. His Susanoo can come in the form of abilities and an ultimate. I'm not sure how to balance him out, but his Susanoo could have the chakra needles, lance, and spear. I don't know what else to bring up for him since he's just so overpowered, but he would have to be an assault ninja. I gotta be disrespectful now and add Danzo to the list right after Shisui. Bro is one of the most hated ninjas in all of Naruto, but he was cold nonetheless. Again, I'll let you guys kinda decide in the comments what you want for him, along with anyone else on the honorable mentions since they would all be future content and not fully developed yet. Give him his summon, Baku. Give him vacuum-based attacks with kunai and his blade. Since he borderline controlled people's thoughts, give him an ultimate that blurs the whole enemy screen. I don't know how he would play, but he would definitely be one hell of an assault ninja with the amount of damage he can do. Danzo lurked in the shadows, but I gotta mention one of my most hated ninjas, albeit a super strong Hokage, the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. This dude survived the longest of all the Hokage and is actually a menace. I just hate him for not taking care of Naruto. The professor could use all releases, so I'll give him stuff like fire projectiles and mud rivers and mud walls since I want him to be a guardian ninja, really to protect his team. His primary fire could be Enma as a staff, which he can summon for his ultimate as well in his Monkey King form. I also want to bring up the Reaper Death Seal, which could be an honorable mention for his ultimate, or just swap out Enma as another ability and use this as his ultimate instead. Really, Hiruzen is a goat and one hell of a guardian ninja. Now the grandson, Konohamaru. Really, there is nothing unique about Konohamaru that stands out to me. I want him to be a regular assault ninja, using the likes of Toad and Monkey summons, Shadow Clones, Fire Release, and Rasengan. I don't care how he's put together, but I think he should definitely be introduced in the game. I have to mention at least all the Hokage, and I have to do so by bringing in Tsunade. Since she is the last of the legendary Sannin and the granddaughter of the first Hokage, Hashirama, I'm honestly stuck between putting her in as a guardian or medic ninja. Like, she was a medical ninja, meant for healing, but she's one hell of a tank. I think I like her better as a guardian ninja just because she's so powerful is stupid. But then again, she taught Sakura everything she knows and she's a medic ninja. It's too hard for me to decide, so I'll let you guys do it down in the comments. She can heal herself with Creation Rebirth as a second life and always controls her looks with that transformation. I think her biggest drawback is her fear of blood, so maybe I would make her a guardian ninja with the capabilities to heal herself. I mean, she did fix Rock Lee's spine. Honestly, what if she just played like the Hulk without a Bruce Banner mechanic since she's so strong? Summoning Katsuyu as a shield and heals allies as well, even as a tank? That would be interesting. I don't know, since both Orochimaru and Jiraiya are already guardians, it feels repetitive. And Hashirama is a medic. Why would Tsunade be a guardian? Who cares, man? Same thing goes for her ultimate as is Sakura's. She just releases her seal to gain immense speed and strength. Kinda doing the Hulk's ultimate in a sense. She would be fire as either a guardian, which I'm leaning towards, or a medic ninja. I left my favorite Hokage for last. Tobirama is so cold, so you know I had to put him in as an assault ninja. Give him all of his abilities. Shadow clones, since he invented it. Give him water needle projectiles as his primary fire. Give him the sword of the thunder god. Let him dash through enemies like he did to Izuna. Let him shoot water out of his mouth. Make defensive walls if needed. And give him his flying Raijin technique similar to Minato's. His ultimate would just be a large water dragon attack. Pretty simple, but deadly. I love Tobirama. Now I know I put Killer B on the base roster, but his older brother A has got to come in the future. He's the fourth Raikage, and I felt it necessary to bring in a different Kage for once. He's a tank and would definitely fit being a guardian ninja. I want him to be a dive heavy tank, kinda like Hulk. He would have huge jumps, run fast, and really rely on his lightning release and wrestling. He can charge up his punches with a lightning and water ability to stun enemies the more he punches them, doing piercing damage so he can hit multiple enemies kinda like Reinhardt's hammer. His ultimate would just put him in a lightning chakra armor mode. That would be fun to play. Maybe give another ability like Hulk that gives a lightning bubble shield to your team and yourself, whoever's around. I think A would work perfectly as a guardian ninja, and the team up I have stored for him and Killer B is actually super fun. Yamato is also a slept on ninja. I think he plays very defensively since he has wood release, the same as Hashirama. And since I did not put Hashirama in as a guardian ninja, that's all I'll be doing with Yamato. His wood locking wall could make domes as shields. Maybe he just plays like Groot and makes a bunch of walls. His great forest technique turns his arms into trees, so why not give him the same primary fire? For his ultimate, why not be the exact same as Groot? I really just think he's Groot. He can plant seeds too, so give him that ability like Groot. This isn't even Yamato anymore. It's Groot. Jugo is the last member of Taka that I did not put on the main roster. Mentioning Mangetsu early on made me realize I need to put Jugo on the list. So here he is as a guardian ninja. He actually has a sage transformation like a few other ninjas on the list. With this, he can target parts of his body to transform. He can make his arm a ram or an axe. This could be defensive or offensive, so shields or damage. Boosters would also help to deal more damage, so that can be an ability. Really, his ultimate would be the multiple Lotus non-self connected cannons, which would really just be Iron Man's maximum pulse. I want him to have a full Curse Seal transformation, but that would be from a team up with Orochimaru you'll see in the team up section. Ah, Sasori, the puppet master I left off the base roster and one of the last few members of the Akatsuki. Even though I said Kankuro would have him as an ability, I don't care about contradictions. Sasori would be a guardian ninja, but would have multiple forms. He would control his puppets to do all his jutsu from the anime and manga. Hiriko is his main puppet, which he would use as a shield form with a different moveset like Hamachi from Overwatch. This would be a similar transition to Cloak and Dagger. The Kazekage puppet would give him Iron Sand techniques as a whole other playstyle, even emitting poisonous gas for damage over time. Hiriko would use his scorpion tail for different attacks and shoot poison needles and shrapnel from his mouth. Honestly, just have him go through his puppets as different cooldowns with a bunch of different playstyles. Think of Robin from Smash Brothers. He can use a bunch of different tomes to do different abilities. He has access to a bunch of different playstyles. That would be the same thing. In his base form, Sasori would have some offensive capability, but would be pretty useless without his puppets. His melee could also be the blades in his arms. And finally, his ultimate would be the red secret technique performance of 100 puppets. Sasori would actually be insane to see in game, and giving him multiple movesets with each puppet he chooses would be crazy. The cooldowns would have to be large enough and limited on how long he could stay in each puppet form for. Since I just finished up with his partner, I had to bring up Deidara himself. On the contrary to Sasori being a guardian, Deidara would be an assault ninja. He would actually play like a damaged version of Penny Parker, setting up traps and explosions with his different techniques. He could make clay clones that explode when detonated or killed. He would have a passive to see traps and clones on the field because of his eye enhancement scope. His ultimate would have to be C0, exactly like Scarlet Witch's ultimate, but he dies too. This would be a last-ditch effort at winning a fight, but the huge explosion is so iconic that he has to have it, especially as a DPS. Finishing up with the last member of the Akatsuki, we got Nagato himself, Mr. Six Paths of Pain. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea how to make him work in this game. This dude was one of the biggest menaces in the whole series. He has the Rinnegan, but we barely see him in his own body. Instead, he fights out of the paths. Maybe I make him control the Deva path and do abilities using the other pains. Because he was crazy strong and really moved like a tank, I want him to be a guardian ninja. Give him the Rainmaker Jutsu, but make it work like Thor's Thunderdome, doing damage over time and amplifying his own while in it. This would just be on a bigger scale. Maybe summon different pains as shields for your teammates. Let him absorb attacks with one path of pain and summon with another. The King of Hell would be insane to see. Give him Almighty Push as an ability and Planetary Devastation as his ultimate. Pain was so OP when he first showed up in Konoha, and he absolutely murked Jiraiya, his own sensei. Really, this dude needs to be nerfed. He's just such a tank. If I'm bringing up Nagato, I have to mention his top op, Hanzo of the Salamander. This dude was a tank, no doubt about it. So I want him to be a guardian ninja too. His whole moveset would be around poison. He has an implanted venom gland, so a majority of his abilities would revolve around it. From a poison gas to have map control, or even projectiles. His melee could also be his primary fire, using a sickle on a chain, which is his main weapon. Maybe he could use this as a means of transportation, as well as having a finishing ability tied to it. Finally, his ultimate would have to be summoning a Buse to spread a poisonous gas over a huge part of the map. That would be cool to see. You have to remember, Hanzo beat the legendary Sannin and is the reason that pain exists. If that doesn't scream tank, I don't know what does. Finally, to wrap up my list of characters, I want you to pick literally anyone I didn't mention who you think should be in this game. Make up your own movesets in the comments for your characters and let me know who you think I should have included in this game. I'm finally done talking about the ninjas that I wanted to include in this game. Again, if you wanted to incorporate any more in the comments, feel free to do so down below. But I'm just happy to be done talking about them, man. All these concepts, bro, I'm tired. But anyways, thank you for watching. That was the end of part 4. And tomorrow, look out for part 5, the last part of this series and the finale before the full video compilation comes out on Monday next week. Thank you again and hope you enjoyed.